Hello Anna.
Hello, Adrian. Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
hello everyone. How are you, Anna?
I'm good. Thank you. And you, Adrian? How's the weather in
Uh,
Paris?
oh, it's gonna be 35 degrees today in Paris.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we're not that far here from Lisbon, so things will warm up today.
I
Well,
think we'll start, yes? What do you think?
yes, I think we can start. We are
Amazing.
sharp on time. So let's start. First of all, welcome to our webinar. I'm Ana Queiroga, the Iberia team lead at The Edge. And it is a real pleasure to be here with you today. We know that the traveler's journey is changing fast, so today we want to talk about attract and convert. Essentially, we're going to look at the entire path from the moment a guest first discovers your hotel online and all the way through the final click on a direct booking. Joining me today is Adrian Lane, our digital media expert, who is going to share some great insights later on. And our goal for this session is to show you how to create digital experiences that don't just look good, but really makes a difference in your bottom line. So let's get started. Let me change the slides. Okay. So to start here, I want to clarify one thing. Today, we aren't just here to talk about technical tools or software. We are here to talk about what actually drives your direct bookings, and that is the digital experience. Think about it. Before a traveler clicks book, they go through a whole series of small interactions with your brand online. Every photo they see, every price they compare, and every second the page takes a load, all of that matters. Each of these moments either builds confidence or creates doubt. And ultimately, it's this level of confidence that will determine their final decision. Our job here today is to make sure that at every step they feel they are making the right choice by booking directly with you. Now, let's look into our agenda. So, this is how we're going to spend our time here over the next hour. First, we'll talk about why the digital experience has become such a huge engine for your revenue. Second, we will look at the attraction. We don't just want to get people to go on your website. We really want to attract the right travelers that are likely to book. And the third will be to identify those key moments in the guest journey where a booking is either won or lost. And finally, we will share some best practices and tips to help you improve this performance across the entire journey of the client. And we will also leave some space for questions and answers. So please type them on the Q&A tab so we can go later on when we finish the presentation. So let's go into why the digital experience has become a revenue driver. For a long time, we used to think that the digital experience was actually just a marketing uh, process or an image project. But today it's much more than that, actually. It's a matter of performance and profitability. It happens when everything happens on your website. Uh, what happens actually on your website is what directly will decide your revenue. At the end of the day, your website is no longer just a digital brochure, it's actually your most powerful sales tool. And now let's talk about traveler expectations and why they have changed. We now see that 30 to 40% of online bookings are made on mobile. This tells us that a great digital experience is no longer an extra, it's the baseline. Travelers today expect three things: speed, simplicity, and transparency. They want to find what they need quickly, and they need to feel confident that the price and information they see are 100% accurate. We have to remember that our guests are not just comparing our hotel website to the hotel next door. They are now comparing us to the best e-commerce websites they use on a daily basis, like Amazon or Uber, for example. This is the new standards of easy and how things are being measured and to where we are compared with. So let's talk about experience and how it is a revenue engine. Let's have a look of how this translates into actual results. We believe that the digital experience is a real engine for your revenue. It's not just a service topic anymore, it's a lever of growth. It directly impacts your conversion rate. A smooth journey on your website simply means more people finishing their bookings instead of giving up halfway. It also helps you increase the ADR and your ability to upsell. When the website feels premium and clear, guests are much more likely to book a better room and add an extra service. And the next slide. Oh, okay. Here, I forgot about one very important topic, which is loyalty, meaning reviews and guest loyalty. A great stay starts the moment they find you online, and that positive start leads you to the repeat guests. So every stage matters. The guest experience is a question of profitability for you. Now, the next slide. The real traveler journey today. Let's have a look of how the traveler journey actually looks like today. It is very important to understand that the booking decision isn't just made at the moment of the payment. It's built much earlier. There's several processes like a chain reaction. It's a sequence of events. Each step along the way directly influences the next one. If the discovery phase, that first impression that the traveler has is weak, everything that follows becomes much harder for you. The hotel is already starting at a disadvantage. If the traveler gets to the comparison stage and finds the information on the website confusing or the price unclear, the booking simply won't happen. It will be very hard to convert. Everything online needs to lead the traveler naturally toward the moment of the truth at the reservation. The bottom line is if trust is lost at any of these steps, the hotel loses the booking. It's very important to make sure that all this journey happens smoothly. Why hotels lose bookings? Let's address the main challenge. Most hotels actually have a good visibility, but they lose bookings because of invisible frictions. These are small frustrations that stop a guest from moving forward. And we see this happening most often through content inconsistencies between platforms or a poor user experience on mobile or disconnected tools actually that don't talk with each other, they don't connect smoothly. When all these small frictions happen, the customer most likely will hesitate. And in a world of online travel, speeds, and these expectations that now the guest has, hesitation almost always leads to the guest back to an OTA. So actually, our goal here is to help you remove these barriers, to identify them, so the path to the direct booking is actually easier, and it will guide to that booking finalized through your website. And now I will pass the word to Adrian, who will speak about attraction. Adrian, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Hannah. The idea, and remember, you can use the Q&A section to ask your questions, and if we don't have enough time to answer to all of your questions, the Q&A section ensures that we have a recording of those questions and we can get back to you. Otherwise, the chat doesn't allow for that. So please use the Q&A section. Thank you, Anna, for the introduction. You mentioned just a few minutes ago the invisible frictions. So step one is about attracting the guests. It's about taking care of the visible part of the invisible frictions. The visible part is actually the visibility itself. Because being visible as a hotel or property or group of hotels is not enough in itself, because you can be everywhere and yet not convert. So what matters is the relevancy, the way you talk to your customers and to your guests. So it's about having the right message at the right time on the right channel. Lucky for everyone, the I will say overall, I will say not only advertising but overall visibility landscape online has grown a lot, and you have now the ability to make complicated visibility for your website and for your direct distribution without putting a lot of efforts in front of it. So quick disclaimer, because the idea is not to go through a lot of AI-oriented topics today. We will have some, but very specific, and it's not about the edges strategy on AI. We'll have probably a dedicated webinar on that in the following weeks or months. But I wanted to share anyway a few hints of how the past weeks and months have made the overall internet evolve quite drastically and quickly. Um, so as you can see, you have 40% of travelers who actually use AI, so LLM, in order to plan for the trip, which is crazy when you think about it, but it's kind of logical also. You have 1.3 billion active users on AI tools overall. So um, it's either Claude or ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's a lot of people. But you also have a lot of travel companies, including The Edge, that are testing and implementing AIs in their strategy. And again, it's not today's topic to review The Edge's strategy. We are here with Anna to give you actionable tips and trips. The idea, however, is um, you probably all know as hoteliers what SEO stands for, which is search engine optimization, which is good old, I would say, visibility in Google or Bing or Yahoo or whatever for your official website. For the past 25 years, you have been taught that in order to be able to attract direct clients to your website, you needed to have good SEO. This is still true. You have 99% of worldwide traffic that still comes from the good old google.com and stuff. So that's still true. However, you also need to be AI ready by empowering your website and making the relevant changes to your official website with GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization, which is exactly the same but for LLM purposes. So think about everything you know about SEO, and it works in the similar capacity for LLM engines overall, which is a lot about how you design your website, how you handle the content on your website, and how you make not just a robot understand your website, which is SEO, but how a wannabe human, which is AI, would understand your website, which is Geo. So again, I promise not to spend too much time on it. I will try to live up to my word. So you need to take a step back. as hoteliers, you need to put a bit yourself in the shoes of your guest. You need to have a clear look at your website, a clear look at your booking engine, a clear look at your social media pages and posts, and ask yourself, if I were tomorrow to be a guest in my own property, what would that property appeal to me? Would it be relevant for me at the inspiration phase, at the information phase, or at the pre-selection phase? You need to ask yourself that. The auto diagnosis is super important because it has been the case forever. People don't start by typing directly the name of your property anywhere. They need first to get inspiration for the destination, then information about the location, probably for your specific location, borough, neighborhood, whatever. And then you will be shortlisted because of many factors that every guest will carry. But the idea is you can also influence people at the inspiration phase, at the information phase also. You can create déjà vu effect quite easily. So in order to create those kinds of déjà vu effect, there are many steps to follow. But the overall general idea is to say that you need to think about your way to interact with your guests as a complete funnel of interactions. It's not just about having what makes the most impact on your revenue. Because if that would be the case, then you would have probably much less mobile traffic overall, because people don't book that much on traffic, on mobile, I'm sorry. People still use a lot of desktop to book, particularly when you are very high-end properties. But you also have the reality that probably meta search will be the only clear winner if it was only about return on investment, which is not the case because the guests, you need to make them realize that your property is the right one at every step of the way. I'm talking here about making someone book direct, but it's kind of the same for overall your occupancy rate. We see really frequently the mistake made by hotels to analyze what they do solely through the lens of, immediate booking impact, like last click things. It's really unwise because you need to adapt the messages. You need to have some messages specifically for the different stages. You talk to someone in the inspiration phase, like someone that would be inspired about the destination, the location, about what to do there. But you talk about someone on the action phase, about prices, about rates, about restrictions, which is totally different as an interaction with a guest. And think like the guest would do, and try also to think like any AI would, because the AI tomorrow will try to understand you the way you advertise your property in the similar capacity as the guests are trying to. So if we are to talk very high level about strategy, it's pretty straightforward. You need to have one key idea, which is each channel has a specific mission in the journey. You cannot manage the channels with the same logic. For example, at the discovery phase, display and social campaigns would serve to inspire people, to create desire, to make your brand emerge. Uh, one property is a brand by itself, so it's still valid for a consideration phase. Search engine or AI engines will be probably the most relevant because people are actively searching for information, which is not true for the discovery part. Discovery, it's mostly passive research from information. And of course, you understand afterwards that the comparison phase is really about what's the best possible deal I can do with the, I would say, short list of properties that I have done for myself. So what will drive performance overall for your properties? It's not to be everywhere. It's to be with the right strategy on the right channels, with then the right intend to discuss with the guest with the right messages. It's 2026, and what I'm telling you is not new. It's been at least widely spread on the market for since COVID, but probably before that. And it echoes a lot with loyalty programs, if you think about it. Loyalty programs, it's about making the guest feel a bit different and feel a bit rewarded for the interactions that they have with you. They should not have to be within your loyalty program to have that interaction. So you have ways of having specific discussions with your guests. If you talk about meta search, for example, of course, it's paid advertisement on travel comparison platforms. So they allow you, hotels, to appear alongside your distributors or OTAs or wholesalers. It's about displaying rates and real-time availability, but the idea, and it also conveys a very clear message to your guests, is how much does it cost to stay at this property right now, which is an extremely efficient way to do business online. So if you are still not using meta search channels for your direct distribution, just know that your OTAs are doing it, and you should be doing it for yourself. So you have the example of Google Hotel Ads, but you also have the one for Bing, for Trivago, for TripAdvisor, and many others. Um, you might be convinced that Google is important. You would be right. I just want to give you a hint about tomorrow's evolution of our industry. Keep in mind that ChatGPT is owned by a company called OpenAI, which is owned at 51% by Microsoft, which is Bing.com. So there are already markets where Bing.com, which uses OpenAI within its operating search engine for a few years now, has grown a lot. So if you are only doing Google Ads campaigns, you should consider trying Bing campaigns. It's a free advice that I give you. It's really worth trying. Trust me on this one. Um, there are things that you need to understand about the evolution of of the overall advertising world, which is that today's reality is probably tomorrow's obsolescence products. So Google Performance Max has been on the market for a few years now. It's an AI optimized campaign that allow you to achieve business goals and to create complex campaigns, but with ease of use, like I said in my introduction. Um, but the reality is, um, it's only for marketing people to understand this. What I want you to understand as hoteliers is, again, it's one way to use smartly the possibilities that are offered to us by the big players of the industry, like Google, Microsoft, mainly, in order for you to then have the right discussion and conversation with your guests. It's one example of so many things that you should be doing if you are not. Because again, your distributors, Booking and Expedia first, are doing a lot of these campaigns very successfully. Why? Because those campaigns, as you can see, will cover the full spectrum of when the guest interacts with basically Google products. And rest assured that a lot of people are interacting with those Google products on a daily basis, whether it's Google search or YouTube or hotel ads or maps or whatever. People are using these platforms in order to consume content. And you should be pushing and using those platforms to your advantage as hoteliers. Um, a very quick example that will be extremely interesting for you. Look at the middle section of the screen right now, which is called Ads in AIO, which is the integration of specific travel ads within AI overview content, which is already live in many countries around the world. So that's something that you can have your property appear with sponsored listing ads within AI contextualized content within the search engine result page. It already exists. It's already live. So if you want more information, you should contact your DH representative, but you get the point. It's something that you should be doing already. Um, that's important for you to understand, and I'm giving you last bit of data, that you have 1/3 of your direct bookings that should be coming in average from advertising. So not GEO, not SEO, not your loyalty program, from your advertising. The reason is, I'm not taking that figure out of my head. It's the analysis that we have over 10,000 properties, and that's the average that we see. If you look into the books of Booking.com and Expedia, like many journalists do on a yearly basis with open articles afterwards, you will see that they spend almost from 30 to 50% of their revenue on online advertising. 30 to 50% of their revenue means 30 to 50% of your commissions that you pay to Booking and Expedia are then paid to Google, to Facebook, to Microsoft on your behalf. So if you are spending pennies on the dollar for your direct distribution, for your own direct advertising, think again, because you should be spending much more. And if you don't have 1/3 of your direct distribution that comes from advertising results, that means that either congratulations, because you don't need that and that exists also, or otherwise you should be much more active for your direct distribution. Of course, it's not everything. It doesn't do by itself anything, but it gives you the right visibility to then prepare the ground for conversion, which Anna will detail right now. But it's really important because you could have the best website, you could have the best offer structured, the best booking engine, you could have the best ecosystem. If no one finds your website, you will never thrive for your direct distribution. And now I pass you the ball. Thank you very much. Remember to use the Q&A section, please, in order for us to have the questions stored, in order to review at the end, but also to answer if you have the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian. And thank you. It's always very enlightening to hear you talk about attraction to our hotelier's website. It's really a pleasure. I already see one question in our Q&A tab. Keep using it. I think it's going to be very valuable to go through your questions. Now, let me go back. Okay, here. Now that we've seen how to attract the right travelers to your website with Adrian, we need to talk about the next step, which is conversion. Uh, Converting that interest into a confirmed reservation. Now, the booking stage is the most fragile moment in the entire journey. This is the point where everything can change in a second. We often think that if someone doesn't book, it's because mostly of price, but very often it's actually a question of experience, a question of trust. It's not that the room is too expensive, it's that the process of the booking it's too difficult or not trustful enough. When there are too many steps or too much information or lack of clarity, the travelers most likely will doubt and drop their choice. In this section, we will have a look on how to create a journey that feels smooth for your guests. To really understand what we mean about conversion, we need to acknowledge that today the process of a booking in a hotel is just judged against the best digital experiences guests use every day. I've said it before. Travelers aren't comparing the hotel website with the hotel next door. They are instinctively comparing it with seamless platforms like Amazon or Airbnb. And this is their standard. This is where we are today with our guests. This is what they expect from us. Within seconds of clickings on your booking engine, on your website, they decide whether the booking engine feels trustworthy and easy to use. And if the website feels slow, cluttered, or confusing, they don't stay around to figure it out. They just leave. Any slightest bit of friction, it will make your guests return to to an OTA. Why? Because this is what it feels familiar to them. This is fast, it's secure. They know the process already. It's their safest option when an hotel website feels difficult. This is why we say that conversion is no longer purely about price. It's about whether the experience feels as professional in at any process of the guest journey that starts on the search of your website. Now, how do we actually improve this? Here at the Edge, we believe that high conversion ultimately rests on three simple pillars. Simplicity. This is the most important. The fewer the steps and the more intuitive the navigation, the more likely it is that the guest will actually book. Transparency for second pillar. Pricing and conditions, of course, they must be clear. We want to avoid any surprises, of course, for the guests at the end and to make them actually book and not change their mind. Last but not least, reassurance. We need to provide trust signals throughout the process. Things like reviews, secure payment icons, and very important, consistent brand look. We have to remember that if even one of these pillars is not strong enough, doubts can start to creep in. And in our experience, doubt kills conversion. So it is very important to make sure all of these pillars are solid. Now, we have to look at the booking engine for what it really is. It's not just a technical tool or a piece of software on your website. This is the exact moment where the sale is finalized. Everything we've done up to this point, all the attraction and the beautiful websites that you have, leads to here. It's the job, its job is to guide the guests through the final steps, reassure them that they are making the right choice, which is booking with you, and it has to feel effortless. It needs to highlight the real value of the booking directly and make the pricing very clear so there's no reason for hesitation. And very crucial for the hotel, it should increase bookings without creating any extra workload for your team. Essentially, the booking engine isn't just there to take a reservation. It's there to convince the guests to finish what they have started, why they've went through your website. Now, let's talk about mobile, our devices that goes along with us on a daily basis. This is, I don't like to say it, but it is kind of our best friend for everything. We ask questions, we talk with people with it. So it is with us on a daily basis. We've reached to a point where mobile friendly is no longer enough. It's actually mobile first. Just think about it. On your daily basis, you go with your mobile to make a consult, to book something, to buy something. It's mobile first. You most likely will book through your mobile, then through your desktop or through your tablet. The vast majority of booking journeys now begin on mobile device. It is no longer a secondary screen. It is the primary environment where guests make their decisions. This is a business reality. If the booking path is slow or difficult to navigate on your phone, the hotel's marketing investment is basically wasted. It needs to be very smoothly, this process. We can spend a lot to attract guests, but if they can't finish the booking easily on their screen, that effort can be lost. We have to remember that guests are browsing and comparing on the go. If a website doesn't work perfectly on your mobile, the guest won't wait until they are at their computer later at home or at work on their break. They will simply go back to an OTA that works and finish what they started. In short, if the mobile experience fails, the direct booking most likely will fail. Now, we have to talk about something that really changes the game, which is personalization. First, I think we need to clear something here. Personalization does not simply mean offering more discounts. This is echoing in our head for a while. It's actually much smarter than that. It's about adapting the experience on the website to the guest specific context. Um, Adrian was mentioning it before. Things like the device they are using, their profile, or what they are actually looking for in that moment, it needs to be relevant. They need to feel recognized by the hotel. The experience of recognition will build trust. The more relevant the experience feels, the higher the chances that the traveler will move forward and book. Finally, we have to think that the booking itself isn't the finish line. In fact, we at the edge, we like to say that the confirmation email is not the end of the journey, is the beginning of the relationship. The time between the booking and the guest's arrival is huge, and it is a big opportunity. Good communication during this phase makes the guests feel confident about their choice and actually prepares them for their stay. So, this is actually the perfect time for you as an hotelier to offer relevant extras when we anticipate what a guest might need, like a room upgrade or a spa treatment according to their profile or their type of booking. It doesn't feel like a sale. It feels like a great service, a great recognition of what do they need. This is where actually the true loyalty begins, when the message to the guests matches the message to the guests on your website matches with the experience they have before their arrival. So, and it needs to continue until their stay and their checkout. And this is where you actually start a successful conversion. And it's not just one-time transaction. It's the first step in turning a guest into a regular visitor. This is where loyalty starts. Now, to bring everything together that we've been talking here, we want to share what we believe is the true strength of the edge. It's the ability to orchestrate everything um, in a simple way, in every single of these key stages we've discussed today. We don't just want to offer disconnected tools. Actually, it's not what we really want to do. We believe that a unified vision where the digital media solutions bring people to a website built specifically to the hotel industry will guide the guests to uh, an interest and to book, to finalize their booking and their intention of a stay on your booking engine. And finally, it is very important because I just also mentioned it. CRM tools allows the hotel to go beyond that first transaction and truly manage the guest relationship um, by having all of these solutions working together on a very connected way. We ensure that nothing is lost in the process in any of these steps, and this unified approach, it is completely centered on a performance and conversion and helping you bringing that revenue that you're looking for, helping you to grow. Now, at this stage, the real question is no longer whether digital is important. I think we all understand that at this point. The real question is, where is your hotel actually losing money today? We aren't talking about theory or market averages anymore. We are talking about the specific journey on your hotel's website with its own customers. We need to ask these questions. Where do they drop off? Where do they hesitate? Or when do they leave? When they decide not to finish their booking? As long as we don't shed light on this, we're just improving small details without ever addressing the real problem. So often the most surprising thing isn't that we lose customers, it's how much is lost without anyone even knowing it. It is very important that we start to look at it through all process. To finish, and to be very clear, our goal isn't to talk about all the edge solutions or to sell you more tools or add more complexity to your daily operations. We actually want to look at the real journey together, exactly as a customer would. Our aim is to help you identify what is working well, what is slowing things down for you, and focus on finding the most effective ways to grow your revenue. This is based on real data that we've been sharing here, solid numbers and very concrete recommendations that are transparent and help you make decisions. Um, we aren't here to actually tell you do more digital, go and invest. As Adrian said, it doesn't make sense if you don't unify, look at the process as a whole and unify all of it as a chain process. And we are here to help you to do more business and use the tools that you use already smartly and effectively. And last but not least, we are here to help you um, use these insights that we have shared here today to bring into positive results. So if you would like to raise your questions, please do now. And if you want to go into one-to-one session with us, feel free. We are here to help you and more than glad to have this conversation with you outside this webinar. Um, so this brings us to the end of our webinar. I want to thank you very much. Adrian, thank you for your amazing insights.
Thank you,
Always
Anna.
a pleasure to share this floor with you. Uh, and thank you so much to all of you for taking the time for joining us today here. We really hope these insights helped you to look at your guest journey with fresh eyes. And as we mentioned, our goal here is to help you turn those digital interactions into real business results. So I think we can open our question and answer session and help to answer your question. I see two questions here. Adrian, you want to help me with it?
Yes, absolutely. We have a question on the chat, which is in order to have a one-to-one discussion or auditing, who should I contact? So I just replied to Emanuela to use the contact form on the edge.com website. Otherwise, do not hesitate, Emanuela, to add Anna or myself on LinkedIn, and of course, we will get in contact with you. If you want to leave us your email, you can use the Q&A section, Emanuela, to post your email in the Q&A because it's private and only us will have access to that, and we can get in touch with you. In the meantime, we have two questions also coming from the Q&A section. Hi, it's coming from Yudhishthira. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Hi, please share more info in regards to your loyalty solution. Is it standalone or it has to be connected to your booking engine? What do you think, Anna?
Well, it can be seen as a standalone product. It depends on what you want to do and how you want to use the information you get from your clients. Sorry. And if you want to just look at loyalty itself as a loyalty program and provide special discounts and direct communication with your guests, yes, I would say that it needs to be linked with the booking engine, in particular, if we're talking about the edge solutions. It is very important that is connected with the booking engine. But if you want to go beyond and work all this loyalty process, all this communication, there's much more behind it. And it can be looked as, let's call it CRM. It's the right word, but CRM is very complex. Behind the CRM, there's several options, and you can use them together or to boost all this loyalty process, or use it in standalone processes. I think I've answered the question.
I think you did, indeed. We also have another question, which is in our region, some OTAs are very disruptive in terms of price parity. I'm sure you're aware of this. What are your recommendations?
Hmm. Uh, this is a hard one, actually. It's a forever war, let's say.
Yeah, true.
It's very difficult to work the price parity against OTAs because, well, everyone is trying to win uh, the
The problem is the
visibility.
undercut. In the
Yeah,
vast majority of time, the problem is the undercut. So
yeah,
what we could say is the first thing you need to know is equip yourself with a parity check tool
correct.
because the first thing is to have the information and to have the data. Because you might have the feeling as hotelier that you have one OTA that's extremely disruptive, but it's going to be true in the market that you are looking at it. It might not be true at the international. It might be a different OTA from the international perspective. So you need to have a clear understanding and vision of that first. Then once you have that, you can start taking some kind of actions. Actions will always come with two effects: is one, tweaking your rates and availabilities and prices, and second will be good old discussions with your account managers from the OTAs. You have also the ability to put pressure on them if you don't want to be distributed or redistributed by Expedia's marketplace or by Booking.com and Agoda and stuff like that. You can take a big back control of your on your distribution. It requires some courage. It requires also to have those very difficult conversations with your I would say account manager, but it can be done. And if they don't want to listen, or if you believe you rely too much on them, that means that you don't have enough direct distribution in the first place. It means that you probably need to grow your direct in order to get less dependency from the OTAs. And then those very hard conversations with your, I would say, account managers from the OTAs will be much less hard in some way.
Yeah.
So and I we've been doing that for a very long time, and it's a very hard discussion. Still, there are some options, and many clients manage to do that. We
Yeah,
have a
there's no magic solution. That's what I was going to say. It's a combined process. There's no button to click and say cancel OTAs.
Absolutely. We have a last teaser question I think we can take because there are many, many more, but we'll need to leave the floor. We have a question from Jakarta, which it's about the newest AI features from the edge that hotels should start adopting to stay competitive. I know it's probably way too early, but we can already say is that the edge is working really, really hard to have an agentic extranet, meaning that our extranet, the platform that we use for our hotels, not for the guests, um, will be tomorrow equipped with a lot of AI agents developed by the Edge in order to help you operate and use the DH features, whether it's in your Channel Manager, Booking Engine, DH Pay solutions, GDS, digital media, whatever, to the best of their capabilities. You need to think about this as having, um, I will say, a portfolio of solutions at the edge where most of clients like you don't use many features because you either don't know they exist or you don't know how to use them, which is normal because we have a platform that's been building for 25 years, which is kind of normal if you think about it. So that's the direction we are taking very short term. There will be times for great announcements, but that's the idea. And we have a last question, then we'll have to stop. There is a question if we are offering a booking engine and to have like maybe a demo requests. The question is been asked by someone called Hitesh. I don't know if I say it right or wrong. I'm sorry. Again, don't hesitate to reach out on our website. You will find a lot of information. And if you want a specific demo or a call with one of our salesperson in order to understand more, please use our website. We'll be delighted to route you to the right person in your region. We have offices all around the world, and it will be available for you in your native language quite easily. So don't hesitate to reach out. After we end the webinar in a matter of seconds, you will have a survey popping on your screen. Please take the few required seconds to fill the survey, please, please, please. It's really important, not for you, but for us to get better and to provide better content for next time. Really appreciate if you're taking the time. It's important for us. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you, Adrian. It was a real pleasure again. And thank you all for being here with us today and listening our insights and what we have to share to help you most of all. Well, see you next time.
Yeah,
Enjoy the good weather, Adrian, with AC.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. And
Bye.
to all
Have a
the
good day.
questions not answered, we will reach out. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.